over. The deaths were initially ruled an accident, apparently the result of the boys sleeping deeply on the tracks while intoxicated by marijuana. The parents of the boys had insisted on a second autopsy after an exhumation was ruled. The usual theory about the boys' deaths, believed by Linda Ives, involved drug trafficking. The theory is that the boys came across a drug drop from an airplane similar to Barry Seal's operations and were murdered. Dan Harmon, a prosecutor of the case who was later arrested for dealing drugs, is one person implicated in the murder. In January of 2018, Billy Jack Haynes came forward on the Doc Washburn show claiming to have been involved in the drug business and a witness to the murders and even videotaped them. According to the head investigator who was working the case, Billy Jack Haynes took a lie detector test and it came back inconclusive because at the time, Billy had some health issues affecting the test. But it was taken into account Billy would essentially be risking his freedom and possibly his life by coming forward, and knew some of the people directly involved. 3 law enforcement officers, 2 attorneys/politicians, and a bouncer for a local nightclub. He also named the governor as having directed the events of the night. Not only does the investigator believe his story, he believes he was there during the night the boys were murdered. In 2018, he had a meeting with Gene Duffy, who was head of the task force for the law enforcement community in Arkansas. According to the detective's homepage, he stated in his comments, Billy Jack Haynes got up to walk out of his first and last meeting with Gene Duffy after she insulted him when he tried to answer Duffy's question. What happened on the tracks when the boys were murdered? Billy Jack started telling Duffy his life story. To put context into his life leading to Kevin and Don's murders, when Billy Jack began his story, he mentioned his blind dad. Gene Duffy rudely said, "I don't care about your blind dad. I want to know about the boys' murders." The statement really upset Billy. His father was his hero. Without answering any further questions, Billy walked out before the interview was over. The case still remains unsolved. On Thursday, February 8th, 2024, at 9:52 a.m., officers responded to a report of a shooting at a house on the 6000 block on Southeast 100th Avenue. Officers contacted a potential subject in the home, but he was not cooperative with the officers. They went inside the home and located an adult female who was deceased. Homicide detectives responded to the scene and began their investigation. There was no ongoing threat to the community. The suspect in the homicide was identified as William Albert Haynes Jr., 70, of Portland, and was also the victim's husband.